wide. This is Living Redefined with myself, Siyathokoza. We're just about to head into our relationship feature. Today we're in conversation with Siyathokoza Nsizwane, who is a life and relationship coach. And today we are talking all things expectations and standards in relationships. You know, whether you're in a relationship, you would have at some point have to have gone out and meet people. And I'm sure you had your list. But the question is the person that you're with today, did that particular person tick each and every one of the boxes on your list? Or did you have to get to a point where you kind of bend things a little bit, you know, and you compromise. Compromise is key if you want to find happiness and peace, absolutely. Or perhaps maybe you are dating again. Maybe we had a topic about divorce in the safe space. So there are people who have exited marriages and are looking to meet other people. Do you go into these relationships with a particular list? No smokers. The person has to be religious in terms of whatever denomination you're talking about. Kids, no kids, a particular age. I know people who are very age specific, like I will not date someone who is not more than 6 years older than me. And then there's the conversation around men and women, like who's pickier, whose lists are longer, and whose expectations are more demanding. So we're delving into all of that. So I'm officially opening the phone lines and having this Friday conversation with you. 011-714-2006. I'm taking your SMSs on 41391, charged at R1.50. I'm also taking your WhatsApp texts as well as voice notes on 0614104107. And we love to hear from you via voice notes. If you're sending one, please keep it to a maximum of 60 seconds. I always say to people, I'm like, these lists, you have to bend them. You get people who are single for years and wanting to date and wanting to go out there and be in the dating pool. But your list then consists of 150 things, like the person needs to be a millionaire or have a six-pack, not have kids, have studied abroad. You know, I think more often than not, we need to check ourselves. But to help us navigate this conversation, I'm going to welcome Siyathokoza Nsizwane to the line. Siyathokoza, good afternoon and welcome to Living Redefined.
Good afternoon, Sichaba. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. So we are talking expectations and standards in relationships. I call it the list, just so we can group it together, you know, and have a light feel on it for a Friday conversation. I think everyone at some point has a list, some longer than others, some shorter than others. I don't know of anyone who goes out to seek for a significant other or relations and says, I will just date anyone and everyone. I mean, I've never heard of such, but maybe they are.
Yeah.
But I'll bring you in here as a life and relationship coach. Talk to us about standards and expectations and this supposed list and how they affect our dating, courting, relationship, married life, etc.
All right. So with our list, I think there's no one who doesn't have a list, whether it's physical list or it's in your mind, whether it's you conscious of it or it's subconscious, everyone has a list. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with having expectations and having standards on how you want to be treated. However, those standards need to be realistic. I know we've often heard the narrative that says, I know growing up, I've heard this narrative that says we shouldn't have expectations in relationships because expectations always lead to disappointment, which is not necessarily true. In fact, recent studies from marriage psychologists have often showed that people who actually have high standards or high expectations in relationships tend to be treated much better and more happy in relationships than people who have poor or low expectations. So there needs to be, you know, like a fine line between what is realistic expectations and things that are just like really, he must have a six-pack and things
Is
like that.
Is that unrealistic though?
Well, is it above other important things?
Okay, I'm kidding.
To have good character, you know, you gotta, like how you said, you must, you know, there must be an element of compromise somewhere. What if you do find that amazing person that has, you know, great character, they are loving, but doesn't have a six-pack? So will you now let them go because no, they don't have a six-pack, they don't tick all the boxes? But I think with the list that you have, you must just kind of, you know, look at the more important things. Which are things that are negotiable and what are the things that are like no, this is a must. There must be a kind person. There must be a person who's ambitious
Mm,
and who's
mm,
religious,
mm.
depending on your religion. But it can't be a fixed list where you can't go back and relook it. Every now and again, you must go back and relook our list. Otherwise, we're gonna stay single forever.
Mm.
And I don't think anyone wants to
I also wonder
to
if
stay
people
single
that
for a
are
long time.
I wonder if people that are in committed relationships or long-term
Mm,
relationships or marriage or whatever, people want to
yes.
call their union or their relationship. I wonder
Mm,
if they go back to that list and think, this is what I'd expected and wanted at the start of this relationship, and
mm,
I happened to compromise or exercise
yes.
compromise. And I wonder if they look back at that list and feel like it even matters anymore. I'd love to hear not
Mm,
only from the people who are entering the dating pool or who are looking to
yeah.
get out there and mingle, but I'd also want to hear from people who are in long term relationships and find out if you had a list when you began
Yeah.
meeting this person. And did this person tick the boxes on that particular list, or did you learn to
Mm,
compromise for happiness and peace? Officially taking your
mm.
calls 011 714 2006. I'm taking your SMSs on 41391, charged at R1.50. I'm taking your WhatsApp texts as well as voice notes on 0614104107. And if it's a voice note, please keep it to a maximum of 60 seconds. But also, more interestingly, if you are in the dating or on the dating scene and entering the dating market, have you got your list ready? I want to know about this list. 20 minutes. Let's take a quick break.
Living Redefined on SAFM.
Hi, this is Daniel Joshua Challen, talking about relationship and the listing you want. It is very difficult to find exactly what you're looking for in a person because the thing is, it's two individuals. When you come together in a relationship, it's all about compromise. You got to give and take because you can't find the perfect person that everything that you require in him or her. Likewise, he or she or the other partner will be looking for the same thing that he or she wants in you. So if you don't find that, you may find everything in that person. Person may not find everything in you. So you'll never get into a relationship, I personally believe. And I believe a relationship should be an open, transparent thing, and it should be an out attitude, not physical looks, not the way you look, because a lot of people can put on a mask and put on a show. When you get to know the person, then you'll find problems. So you got to be careful with what you do. Thank you and God bless you.
Hi, this Jabba. It's anonymous here. I just want to say, yeah, I've been quite single for a while now, but I am looking into, finding somebody because I'm one of those people who are afraid, to grow up and grow old alone. But basically, my list is not that long. As long as the person, is willing to come and live on a farm, I'll be more than happy. Thanks.
Hi, Shaba and your guest. It's Sipe here from Kabaja. Yes, when I started this relationship, it's 3 years now. I had expectations, but I think mine were realistic because I said, okay, even if someone doesn't have a degree that I have, at least he must have grade 12. And even if he's not employed at the moment, at least I must see that he's like busy looking for a job, like a hustler, and yeah, and I saw those expectations were met actually because I'm dating someone who's a hustler, someone who's able to take care of a blind person. Like I can even work with him to do groceries and stuff.
All right. As you can see, I think our expectations vary as individuals, like from individual to individual. We are in conversation with Siyathokoza Nsizwane, who's a life and relationship coach and founder. Siyathokoza, you're obviously listening through to some of these voice notes, someone coming through saying
Yes.
all they request is someone to move to a farm with them. The one person says, you've just got to have your matric,
Yeah.
and be consciously looking or actively looking for work. So I think these vary from person to person. But with regards to your expertise,
100%.
talk to us about our childhood experiences and how from time to time these shape the expectations we have going into relationships.
This is something so true and so delicate because whenever I have a chance to sit with a couple that has children, and if they're having issues in their marriage, one of the things that I always speak to them about is that what you do in your relationship or how you love one another becomes the framework that your child will use in their future relationships. Subconsciously, you are building into your child's mind what to expect in relationships. So it's very important for a child growing up to see what a healthy relationship looks like, because when they grow up, usually what they're attracted to what they've seen before in their environment, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And oftentimes you find people that are in abusive relationships or toxic relationships. When you look at their history or where they came from, you discover that they grew up in environments where they saw that form of abuse taking place, and they just assumed or they expected relationships to be like that. So whenever they got into a relationship when someone is abusing them, they see it something that is normal instead of seeing it, no, there's something that is not right with this type of behavior and it's something that I shouldn't tolerate. So it's very, very important for families to, to the best of their abilities, because I mean, no one's perfect. We're all learning, we're all growing, we all grew up from environments that there's certain things our parents did that we wouldn't like to do. But to your best of ability, if you are a parent and if you are married or not married but partners and co-parenting, to model good, like healthy patterns of what a relationship should look like. A healthy relationship should look like for your children, because they grow up and attract that type of behavior.
Absolutely. Musa got in touch on the WhatsApp line. Good days, Chaba, and your guest. My list, in my list so far, I have been struggling to find someone who ticks all the boxes. It's quite a tricky one. I wonder why it's tricky, Musa. Perhaps it's the length of your list, But let's speak about something. Let's speak about physical appearance, A lot of people tend to speak about how one can be superficial if that is very high up on your list or one of your deal breakers. Is that a good or bad thing if you're someone that's driven by how someone physically looks?
Well, it's I don't really want to say it's a bad thing. I mean, you want to be attracted to the person that you're in a relationship, with. But you have to determine what is important to you. Like, I mean, I'm sure people that get in a relationship, they want to get in a relationship for the long run. Or at least I do. I want to be in a relationship with someone, for the length of my life. So you gotta, look at other things in my list. In 10 years time, will I still want to be with this person if they ticked all the lists? Like because I mean, physical appearance change. We grow old, skin sags, we have wrinkles and all those things. You gotta build my advice would be, you have to build your list on things that are unchangeable, like a person's character, who they are, what they do. Not by what they do, I mean like how they act, not like their career and whatnot, because that can change as well in the economy that we live in. You can't be just, I want a person that has a job, because you might have a job today. They could get
retrenched or their business could cave in. That is the reality. We've seen it happen with the pandemic.
Yes, 100%. So you have to build your list on things that are lasting, that, at the end of the day, when things happen, when it's all said and done, I want to be with a person who's caring, who's kind, who's responsible, a person who's a giver, a person who loves children and things like that. They have to be built on things that are solid and not things that will change over time.
All right.
Yes.
We're in conversation with Siyathokoza Nsizwane. She's a life and relationship coach, and we are talking expectations and standards in relationships. Are they Are yours realistic or not? I'm calling it the list for the duration of the segment. Is your list realistic or not? And even if you have found your perfect partner or significant other, and you're in a settled long-term relationship, did that person tick the boxes on your particular list?
Living Redefined on SAFM.
This is the Relationship Corner on Living Redefined with myself, Siyathokoza. We've got a caller come through, an anonymous caller. Good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about the list. So I've been married for 20 years, and
Wow.
And we were in a long-term relationship before that. So I'm talking about the list because obviously in high school and university everyone has a list. But when we met, I forgot the list.
Wow.
It just felt right. I simply forgot the list. I don't know what he did with his list, but it felt right.
So he was just this human being that you met and you loved, and you were like, I'm doing away with this list.
Yes, and I was 19.
Okay.
And that was it. When we dated, and then late 20s, it's only then when I heard my friends starting to talk about their list.
Anonymous, apologies. Do you have your radio on?
No.
Oh, okay, there was
I
feedback.
don't
You
have
can
my radio
continue.
on, yeah.
You can continue.
And then I'm hearing later on in the 30s, when we are approaching 30s, my friends talking about lists and people that must have six packs and whatever. And then in the 30s, people are talking about the belt must match the shoe, the socks must be this.
The financial security.
Yeah. So for me, no, this was
No
not
list for
important. I
you.
forgot about it.
All right. And it's worked for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anonymous, for calling in. Anderson is calling us from Kimberley. Anderson, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Well, thank you. What's on your mind?
Oh, first time caller, man.
Oh, welcome. Welcome to Living Redefined.
Oh yeah. And the lady in the background, she's doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
Expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us are not really ready to be in a relationship.
You think a lot of us are?
I'm not ready to be in a relationship.
Why do you say so?
I believe relationships, any kind of relationships have core standards.
Anderson? Hello, Anderson? All right, I think we lost Anderson. All right, back to you, Siyathokoza. As you can hear our caller saying the whole list thing, I think we lost Anderson as he said that he feels people generally aren't ready to get into relationships. And our caller, anonymous caller previous to that, spoke about how she had a whole list, and upon meeting this perfect person, she completely forgot about this list.
And I think it's with the regards to the first caller, I think it goes kind of hand in hand on what you said earlier. That when you grow up and your list changed from high school to your varsity years, and when you were you're an adult now, like your list kind of changes over the years, and you don't have the same list that you had before. You're not looking for the same things. But what happens most time when people fall in love and they find a person that makes them happy and then brings them peace, like how you said, all of that kind of goes down to all the 20 points that you had on your list. All of that kind of goes out the window, and you just want to build your life with this person. Because at the end of the day, we all just want to be loved, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, respected. And if you find that in a person, all those materialistic or futile things rather just kind of go away. You just kind of see this person for who they are and the life that you potentially can have with them. So yeah, it definitely does happen a lot.
Let's take a listen to some voice notes. We'll be back with calls.
Hi there, Sachaba and to Siyathokoza. I think expectations are important. Expectations should be there in a relationship, but the only time where they ruin relationships is when they're not communicated. So I think it's important that both parties are happy and they communicate those expectations from the very beginning. And so that will actually work towards building a solid relationship.
Hi, Sechaba. I choose to remain anonymous, but I didn't actually have a list. I met a woman. We clicked immediately. We were together for 7 years. We broke up. Now she treats me like I'm a monster. Um, and you know what? I don't think you should actually have a list. You should just be with someone that makes you happy, makes you laugh, makes you smile, makes you feel comfortable. Someone that you are willing to see in their track pants and old t-shirt without the first thing in the morning, seeing how they look then, instead of seeing them all dolled up and dressed to the T. I don't want to be alone anymore. I hate being alone, but I don't have expectations. I don't have a list. I just want that person that makes me feel happy.
Oh, that's not too much to ask for, is it? Let's take it to the
Not at all.
calls. Tandy, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Sichaba.
Afternoon.
So, I had a list. Dude ticked all the boxes, nothing left. We had our first daughter in marriage, and the marriage ended. So I do not have a list.
But what went
I
wrong?
don't want a list. I don't work with the list. I need someone that I love, someone that respects me, someone who sees value in my life, and I'm in a relationship. I'm in a relationship 5 years now, going strong.
Love it for
happier
you.
as ever. We are on fire with one another. There's never a down moment when there is.
But Tandy,
We quickly deal with it and move on.
I can't let you go off the line because now I'm curious. Firstly, what was on that first list that he ticked everything? And secondly, was there a list with the second guy, or you just decided, I'm done with this?
I did away with my list. So with the second guy, I didn't have a list. I've done away with the list. I don't have any. I don't want.
What was
a
on your
list
first list?
Because people change. So first thing it was, I wanted a guy who doesn't have a child. Wanted a guy who is, certain side of religion. I wanted a guy who drives a nice car because I had a car at that time, and I wanted a guy who. So no.
Love it for you,
No, it
Tandy.
doesn't work. People change, even personality change.
Absolutely.
So no, let's go with someone that makes you happy. Finish.
Love it for you. Thank you, Tandy. Thank you for calling. Have a good weekend. Back to you, Siyathokoza. As you can hear, Tandy saying she's the perfect example of someone who went in with a solid list, was not willing to compromise, and found a guy who ticked every single one of those small boxes on the list. And lo and behold, marriage later, a child later, it didn't work out. And here she is 5 years strong with someone that she just decided to not have a list with.
Wow. That is so uncommon, but it definitely does happen. The reason why is that, sometimes people put up a front. People will be perfect the time they meet you because they want to be in a relationship with you. They want to get you. When someone's pursuing you and they're trying to get you, they'll be the moon and the stars for you until you're actually in a relationship with them and you actually see their true colors. Just like how Tandy says, people do change in relationships. Some of them change and grow for the better, and some of them you see their true colors and they're not the people that you actually expected them to be. So those things definitely do happen in relationships. And I also want to speak on the other lady that spoke about relationships and how uncommunicated expectations ruin relationships. I actually agree with her because so many times in my sessions with people or couples, I've heard couples come in and they complain about what their partner does or what they don't do. And whenever I ask them, have you ever, told your partner this is what you want, so this is what you treated, or this doesn't make you happy, or this makes you happy? And you'll be shocked to find out that they never said a word about what they want or they haven't ever
Siyathokoza,
communicated.
apologies, Siyathokoza. I just want to quickly go through an ad break. Please just hold that thought. We'll be right back shortly.
Living Redefined on SAFM.
All right, we are talking expectations and standards in relationships, and we're talking to Siyathokoza Nsizwane, who's a life and relationship coach. We're taking it to the phone lines for our last caller. Nokwazi is calling us from Newcastle. Nokwazi, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yes, how are you, Siva?
I'm well, Nokwazi. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to comment about that point your guest made there about the expectations changing along the way. Sometimes when you have the expectations, yes. Like when I met my partner 9 years ago, I had a list, but I'm a realistic person. It wasn't very long. I just wanted somebody, I don't know. I tend to be attracted to intelligent people. And I just, yes. And I just wanted somebody who's pursuing something in life. It doesn't really have to be maybe somebody who's academically intelligent or somebody who's just life intelligent. You know, sometimes some people are just street smart.
Streetwise, yeah.
I wanted somebody. Yeah, I wanted somebody who looked healthy because I'm a physical person, like I'm a fitness person. I wanted somebody who looks healthy enough, at least. Yeah,
so when you say healthy, you're not looking for a six-pack and biceps and all of that?
No, not a six-pack. But a six-pack would be nice. But I just wanted somebody who's healthy, like not too chubby, you know. But then, you know, I don't like people who actually drink and smoking.
Your list is increasing, hey?
Yeah, and yes, when I met my partner, he ticked all those boxes, actually. Okay. He really ticked them all. And I didn't want somebody who has a child as well.
You see, like it keeps increasing. It literally keeps increasing. When you called in, you said, my list was very short and I'm a very simple person. But yet you keep going, and this and this. So, hey, Nokwazi, I'm a bit worried about you.
The last thing. I didn't want somebody who has a child. And my partner ticked all those boxes.
Okay, and you together still.
The problem was that along the way, some of those things, they changed. He started the drinking and he started being chubby. He was physically active at first and then he just stopped and became chubby. Like, you have to start making those compromises, whether you like it or not, because, you know, you're in love now and things are just different now.
Absolutely.
So yes, sometimes you have those lists and then at times it just doesn't make sense anymore to keep them because things change along the way.
I love it, Nokwazi. Apologies, we're running out of time. Thank you for calling and have a good weekend, hey?
Thanks, likewise. Bye.
All right. Siyathokoza, back to you very quickly just for your closing remarks. I mean, that was hilarious, you know, and it's awesome to speak to someone who, she kept saying, I'm so simple. I didn't ask for much. But with every 15 seconds that's passing, she keeps going, and this. And it's the reality. But I love that she stressed that as the years go by, people change, you know, people evolve. 100%. You know, you may have met them not smoking and life stresses them out and they pick up the habit. And such is life. So I've loved hearing these personal encounters. Siyathokoza, very quickly in 30 seconds, please close for us with regards to the topic.
Okay, so what I loved, I'm just going to piggyback off of what the last caller said, that she changed her list and it was pointless to keep something on the list while it was changing, but you still love your partner. So I always loved the saying that says it's better to bend than to break. So if you have found a good person, but some of the physical things or material things have changed and you still feel like you have found a good person, it's better for you to compromise on all the other things just to keep that good person and not let them go because of other minor things.
Absolutely.
Than just holding on to your list pointlessly.
Absolutely.
So there's nothing wrong with having expectations. However, your expectations must be realistic and must be communicated because you can't expect someone to meet your expectations while you've never expressed what you require of them or how you want to be treated.
All right,
so expectations are good, they must be realistic and communicated.
Love it. Just taking into account the time, thank you for joining us and have a good weekend.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
All right, then let's take a quick